Hello guys and gals, and welcome. So today I have a new docking station, which I have been sent by a company named Ivoler, and it seems pretty nice. I have had very little issues with it other than I had a little bit of issues with HDMI 1.4 versus HDMI 2.0. It does seem to be an HDMI 2.0 dock, so make sure that you have it plugged into an HDMI 2.0 port. Otherwise, you're going to have some issues with the dock not registering the display properly and other things. But as soon as I plugged it in with an HDMI 2.0 cable to an HDMI 2.0 monitor, all those issues disappeared into the ether. Now, before I started using the Ivoler dock, I was using this crazy little thing. And let me get some light over here so you can really see it. This is the DockTech dock, and although it is an interesting dock and it did work fairly well, the main issue with this dock is that it's just like a slug that sits on the desk. The Ivoler dock is a much more elegant solution that allows you to sit your Steam Deck on something that it can actually sit on. You know, like if you guys have ever used the Nintendo Switch, you know the Nintendo Switch dock, you know, is a thing where you slide your Nintendo Switch in, it holds the Nintendo Switch up, allows your Nintendo Switch to properly ventilate so that the air is, you know, circulating, and just in general is a much better solution than something like this. Although this dock was very nice, it does have 4K 60 resolution, and it also has SD card slots as well as an Ethernet port. The Ivoler dock does not have the Ethernet port or the SD card slots. However, it does have one more USB 3.0 port. In fact, I'd like to bring up some images for you guys so you guys can take a look at them and see kind of what I'm talking about. But before we do that, let me show you the dock itself and the Steam Deck sitting on it. So this is the Ivoler dock, and the Ivoler dock is a very simple dock. If you take the Steam Deck off of it, you notice that it's an extremely small little dock, nothing too super fancy with it. It does have obviously some little rubber grip pads in here to kind of make sure that the Steam Deck isn't sliding around. On the back side, we have our HDMI port, we have our USB-C port, we have 3 USB 3.0 ports, and of course we have the connector so that the Steam Deck can sit on top. I really enjoy using this dock over the other one specifically because it's just, I mean, look at it. Look at how nicely it sits in there. I'm literally holding it in my hand, and it's not falling out of the dock. I also have extra room on the back here and better airflow. So as you can see, I have a special little USB-C powered heatsink, which I've connected directly to where the hottest part of the unit is. And when it's sitting on the dock, it's perfectly accessible. The fan is perfectly accessible. Everything works just very nicely with this, and I just really like how it sits on here. You gotta, if I could show you a picture of my horrible rat's nest of a desk with literally wires all over the place that this dock created, I hate it. I'm not saying that this is a bad dock. It is a good dock. It does what it's supposed to do. But in terms of like accessibility and like ease of use and like cleanliness of my desk, this dock is freaking awful. I literally looked like there was a rat's nest on my desk of wires and cables. And not only that, but the Steam Deck itself just kind of sat there and didn't really have good, you know, airflow or anything. So this dock offers, you know, a solution to that, which is it gives you an actual place where you can place the deck. You can see the screen much easier, so that, you know, like for instance, if you need to click on some buttons on the screen at any given time, you know, you can clearly see the screen. And almost did a Linus there and dropped it. You can see the screen. The green screen filter is messing with the screen, by the way. If I were to turn the green screen filter off, you would see that the screen no longer has that crazy stuff going on it, as you can see. But even my chair is green screened. Pretty cool, huh? Let's go ahead and hook it up, though, and let's take a look at it. And I also have some graphics to show you so that you know, you can get a better look at the dock itself than just me holding it in my hand. All right, so here we are over on the Steam Deck itself, and there are a few things that you need to do on the Steam Deck to make sure that you have optimal compatibility. What you want to do is you want to hit those three little dots on the Steam Deck so it brings up the little side menu. And on the side menu, you want to go down to the battery function right here. You want to turn the frame rate limit off, so you want to make sure that that frame rate limit is off. And then you also want to take the refresh rate down to 40 refresh, because this is a 4K 30 dock, not a 4K 60 dock. All right, so we definitely have to lower down the refresh rate a little bit. Other than that, though, everything works just fine. And let me show you some of these little graphics real quick so that you guys can get a better idea of what this dock is capable of. So first off, we have a picture of the back of the unit. And this is more what it looks like for you guys and gals out there. As you can see, we have the HDMI port, which is on the left, the USB-C, and the three USB 3.0 plugs. And then the one wire that comes out that you plug into the top of the Steam Deck. And then we also have another picture, more of a close-up of the dock itself with the ports. So as you can see here, it's a 4K 30 hertz HDMI port. Definitely have our PD USB-C fast charging. And then we've got the two USB 3.0 ports here. Or sorry, three USB 3.0 ports. No Ethernet port, unfortunately, but I do have some information on that as well. Then the other last graphic that I have for this device is that it works on multiple devices besides just the USB, or say the Steam Deck. It also works on the Nintendo Switch, tablets, and cell phones. So keep that in mind as well. This also works in the desktop mode as well. So if we were to switch to the desktop mode real quick, pretty simple to do. We would basically just press the power button down for like 3 seconds, and when you hit it down for 3 seconds, it comes up with the option to switch to desktop. So we're going to swap to the desktop, and when we switch over to the desktop, you will have to change some settings. It's not like exactly plug and play. It probably will pop up on the screen and tell you something like, do you want to use this as your primary monitor? Do you want to not use this as your primary monitor? There are basically a couple different ways that this works. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to utilize the options menu for the system. So you go into the display and monitor, and you'll see you have multiple monitors here. So what you can do is you can actually turn them on and off. So if I switch to my laptop screen, what I have done is I have disabled the laptop screen, which is essentially the screen that's on the device. And you can change it any different way, but the first time that you plug this in, it's probably going to look something more like this. So you're going to see this screen. This is because this is not your primary screen, and what you have to do is you have to actually change the Steam Deck to your primary screen, which is pretty easy to do. All you need to do is go to the settings, like we just did, and in the settings, you're going to change the Steam Deck to the primary monitor. Of course, I need to click over here real quick. And system settings. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on the Elgato card, and we're going to make sure that that is enabled and that is the primary. And that's essentially how we're going to do it. So if you want to change the monitors around so that you don't have a dual monitor orientation, you have to make sure that you essentially disable the original monitor. Now, as soon as you disconnect the Steam Deck, the Steam dock from the Steam Deck, it will immediately take it off of the main screen and put it back onto the screen for the computer, or rather for the Steam Deck. And let's see here. And you can, of course, change the orientation of the device, all sorts of interesting things. You can make it as an alternative also. So like, for instance, right now I have the monitor set up as my primary on the computer monitor, and then I have the Steam Deck set up as the alternative, which is essentially the second monitor. So you can go back and forth that way. You can set it up different ways. It's really interesting, and I have noticed that there are some things missing from this particular dock, like the Ethernet port and the SD card slot. However, I received an email from Ivoler, and they said that they are looking to come out with a new unit in the future, which is one that is going to be a solid aluminum, which has better heat dissipation, obviously. It is going to have an Ethernet port as well as 4K 60. So keep a lookout for that as well. If they do send me one of those, I will review that one as well. And there's really not a lot more to go over with this particular dock. Just make sure you have it plugged into an HDMI 2.0 port. If you want to check down in the description, I will have a link to the Amazon page where you can purchase this, as well as a link to the little heatsink if you want to grab that as well. So far, this dock has definitely proved to be a better one than the one that I originally chose. Although the one that I originally chose does seem to be a little bit more user-friendly, that you don't have to worry about, setting up specific settings for it. It was really just kind of plug and play. Whereas the Ivoler just takes a little bit more fine-tuning. You got to change a couple settings here and there, and it works just as well. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, and keep watching.